Alright, well, as you can see, I'm in the barn stand. This is where Dalton and I built the platform to hunt, and I'm getting it ready because my daughter said, "Dad, I think I want to hunt this year." And I said, "Daughter, that's awesome." She said, I think her words were, "I'm going to come out of retirement this year and shoot another big one." So I guess that's her plan, but I think that's going to happen a lot this year. I think there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to wake up and think, I need to be able to shoot my own food. I need to be able to kill and eat in case something happens. Because I know this year, everybody's seen how the media controls the fear, and the fear controls the grocery store, or the toilet paper, or the ammunition. Fear is what causes all these things to happen, and the media controls the fear. So I think people are going to wake up, realize that maybe these fat rednecks like me, maybe they know something. Maybe they know something out there that we don't know. And I tell you what it is. It's called self-reliance, and we are all going to need some before it's over. I'm afraid, because I don't think this is going to be the one and only time something like this happens to America. I know it's crazy to think that something like this could happen, but I think the more you pay attention to the people running everything, it's not too difficult to see that collapse could happen at any time. So what I'm going to do here at Wild for the Outdoors is I'm taking it back to basics. We're going to talk about the basic act of getting out there and killing your own food. And now, if y'all are like me, if you're watching this video, you're probably a lot like me. You ain't got access to thousands of acres, and you ain't got access to bulldozers and all this other stuff, and these tower stands that keep you, dry and out of the weather. You're probably like me. You're just going to have to get out there with the basics and get it done. And that's what we're going to talk about. Right now, this is probably the fanciest stand I own. It's not mine at all. I don't own it at all. It is an old barn, an old abandoned barn, and we built a little platform in it. It's probably as close as it gets to comfort in this ground, I promise you. So I'm going to bring some seats out here. I got a couple of chairs. Going to make it even more comfortable, so when my daughter gets out here, she don't suffer. Okay, we don't want to. I remember when I was growing up, man, it seemed like that was part of the game, suffering. But I think it made me enjoy it. But still, I'm getting old. I don't want to suffer like that. So rain or shine, we can come out here, we can do some quality deer hunting, and hopefully put some meat in the freezer. And that's what we're going to talk about all this season, putting meat in the freezer, how to get it from the field to the table. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn something. I'm going to get back to work. All right, getting back to basics this year. Now this little tip I'm going to give you is going to put you way ahead of your basic whitetail deer hunter. All right, this is a good one. Now first you got to find property. Once you've got that done, which I mean there's a million ways you can do that, from driving around to getting on Facebook and just talking to family members and friends. You never know until you ask whether or not someone's going to let you hunt. But I got a hold of a piece of property a few years ago. It was 100 acres, and there was only one way to get into this 100 acres. You couldn't get to it off the road. It was too steep. I mean, you could, but I wasn't going to be able to do it, not without climbing gear. And where you had to pull in at was right next to a house. So the landowner took me up there. We pull in, and he said, "Well, this is this fence row. The road's the other way. This is about what your border is. I'll show you around." Well, there was an old logging road right there that cut through the property. And that's the way we went, right down that logging road. Now, there wasn't no driving down that logging road. It was nasty. Downhill, terrible. But I could tell from the old sign, old stands, even an old camper that had been drugged down in there, everybody used that logging road. Everybody that came there.
he showed me the property. We got out of there before it got dark. This was hog country. He likes to get out of there before it gets dark. So, opening day, I get there, it's evening. I didn't get to hunt that morning. I get out of my truck, park next to that old fella's house. There's the way we go. I went the other way. I found a ridge, and I just kind of hugged the line, you know, the fence, and got down in there and just sat on the ground. That evening, I got real close to a nice 8-point buck, and I missed him. But first time on the property, and I get a chance at a whopper. Later on that year, a little further down that ridge, I filmed the biggest buck I've ever filmed. Probably the biggest buck I've ever seen. Mega giant off down in this holler. Okay, I didn't go the way everybody else went. That's what you got to do. If somebody's showing you a piece of property, yeah, this is the way we go and this is what we do. If you can, just be, well, I'm gonna go over here. You know, find your way. Find a different way. Go a way that somebody else hasn't already gone. If you do that, you're going to be well ahead of any basic deer hunting. Take the path that people aren't going to take. You know, I'm guilty of it. I get a little lazy sometimes. I just run in the same old place and get up the same old stand. And a lot of times, I mean, you don't see nothing. Occasionally you might get something. But I tell you what, I learned real quick right then that if you take a path maybe that somebody else hasn't taken, you never know what you're going to find. And one morning I did get lazy. I wanted to check out the rest of the place. Got there early, took that road. I didn't make it 30 yards down there and blew deer out. So take that tip. Don't be afraid to go the extra mile or just go a way that others aren't. And you're liable to run in to the biggest deer of your life. That's a good tip. I don't care if you're a trophy hunter or just a meat hunter. That's a good tip to get you into a lot of deer. And I tell you what, on that little piece of property, I seen a lot of deer just doing that one thing that other people didn't do. It'll work for you, I promise.